Welcome everybody to the show that you might not get because you just had to be there. I am your host, Paul Hackemesser, and today I'm here with my co-host, Kaden Koellen. And
hello everybody.
Yeah, today's my episode. It's mine. I do what I want.
My bad, bro.
And
you don't gotta start on this note.
I do what I want. Not like last episode where I just share it with that tyrant. No, just absolutely badmouth you.
Yeah.
We want to get into the habit of starting off with, small talk, just leading us into the topic. So do you have anything that happened to you recently, kid?
Nothing too crazy, really. I mean, school's out right now. I'm out of college currently. Yeah. So, that's nice. Gonna get some more work in and really crank this shit out.
As for me, I mean, I don't really do much, and I just been working. Yeah, been working. My actual jobs, since I do have multiple of those. But no, I'm just working on stuff for that. I mean, they're pretty. Easy life so far. That's it. So my topic today is, what would you do? You know that one ad of if a child was standing right in front of you, what would you do? Or whatever they say. Basically, this is a bunch of questions, hypothetical scenarios, and a bunch of just random things, situations, scenarios, questions. Basically saying, if you were in this situation, what would you do? What would you do to manipulate the outcome, to get your desired outcome for the situation?
Okay.
We got a variety of topics. We're gonna start with a fairly tame one, right?
I'm ready. Give it to me, Paul. No diddy.
Mind you, this is one of the tame ones. This is probably the tamest one. Oh, probably not the tamest, but would you sell your soul? If you were 100% believed that this was a real scenario, say the devil appeared and offered it. You can have one wish granted in exchange for your soul with no hidden strings attached. The devil isn't God, so the wish can't defy the laws of physics or nature, but he is very powerful, wishing to eliminate poverty forever, to cure a disease, or to end child abuse are all options on the table. But
you give me too much credit, Paul. Anyways, continue.
But wishing for immortality or bringing someone back from the dead is not. You also cannot wish to eliminate hell or to go to heaven for yourself, but you could wish for your child to go to heaven when they die. And you cannot make yourself a supernatural being. The wish has to be somewhat specific, so you can't just wish for an end to all suffering or peace on earth. There will be no wordplay or trickery, and the devil will fulfill the wish in good faith. He won't hasten your death or prevent you from seeing or collecting the fruits of your wish. He introduced him. Okay.
Selling my soul. Right.
Yeah. He introduced himself as the devil and has proved that he is supernatural. So you can assume that hell is also real and that it involves eternal conscious torment. Is anything worth it to you? And if so, what?
So I'm selling my soul to the devil.
Yes.
I'm assuming that means I just automatically get sent to hell, right?
Yeah, most likely. Yeah. I mean, I would assume that that'd be the process of selling your soul.
Yeah. And I just don't know if that means I'm a slave to the devil or something, in the future.
I don't. Again, it said you're able to live your life, but whenever you die, you did sell your soul, so you go to the devil for eternal damnation. When you die, you will walk into the DMV and become a worker.
Okay. Anything worth it?
Is there anything that's worth it to you?
What are some of the parameters again? It's outside, so I can't make myself supernatural. I can't bring people back to life. I can't.
Yeah, it's not outside the laws of physics or nature. You can't make yourself supernatural, meaning no superpowers or anything. And there's no wordplay or trickery that are involved.
Okay.
So anything you
if I
ask,
say something weird, he's not gonna genie me and make it like
yeah, it's not gonna be like
something
I wish
awful.
for $1 million or I wish for $1 million and they give you the animal. Like it's not gonna be like that.
Yeah.
You wish for $1 million, they're gonna give you $1 million USD or whatever currency
Okay.
you were thinking of.
This is hard because it kind of like you have such a broad scope of things you could potentially do. Realistically, if that would confirm that there is a heaven and a hell.
Yeah.
I'm probably going in there anyways, bro. So I better wish for something good, right? Because, you know, I'm agnostic. I don't really believe in any particular thing. But that would entail, I mean, everybody sins.
Mm-hmm.
If there is a Christianity and he appears right here, I've done nothing in my life to support Christianity. So we're cooked either way. But I don't know. I think I would wish for like the betterment of human species somehow, but I'm trying to like dial in on. I think can I wish for like guidance, like for the future or something?
You want like wisdom?
Like, no, I want like, I don't know. I want a way for the world to be steered in a good direction, like concurrently. You know what I mean? So like,
just make the devil the HR
make it
of
super Earth.
Yeah.
Like force the election of no, that's a bad idea. I was gonna say force the election of a world leader, but that could go any way.
What things you were saying?
I don't know. I just think we need better direction, just as a species. If there's a way to do that, then maybe it is wishing for, like, can I wish for not certain knowledge?
I mean, I think that's fair. I mean, would this knowledge be given to only you, or is this knowledge given like around everyone? Is it shared with the world, or is it
me?
Only you.
Only me, for the sole reason that if you have too much knowledge, it'll rot your brain. And I think that if you have one sole being who is like, I don't know, maybe me and like one other person, that way there's what's the word I'm looking for? Conference, you know? Like you have someone to
confer with, yeah.
Talk to.
So what you're saying is Kaden Koellen 2028. No.
No.
Paul Hackemesser, VP, of course.
I think I'd like wish for knowledge, 1,000 years of knowledge worth
and
how to guide the human race.
Listen, with that knowledge too, I mean, you already sold your soul. You might as well becoming a politician is not. It's not that far of a stretch.
I don't know if I would want myself as that person, because I think if that person has all that knowledge and then they're given that power, I feel like it runs the risk of that knowledge being corrupted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'd almost want to have the knowledge myself so that I can like construct it. But I would want someone else actually like, I would want someone normal to be doing those jobs. You know what I mean?
Normal is crazy. Okay. No, I know what you mean though. Like you don't want, like you don't think you'd be able to do it, but you want someone else who you think would be able to do it successfully and good. You want them to have the knowledge, and so you want to be able to give that knowledge to them. Okay. No, I know what you mean.
And if you ask for that type of knowledge, then it could consist of anything that will benefit people. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. I think I'd wish for knowledge, basically.
Okay, that's a fair.
Because I'm going to hell anyways.
It's true. This question was taken from r/hypothetical situations, and some of the comments A lot of people asking about what it would entail, what selling your soul would like what you asked, like what does it mean to sell my soul, right? A lot of people saying no. There's a lot of people saying no, saying blah blah, your soul is eternal. And there's the human possessions. There's one guy that just true. Yeah, there's one guy that also just says hell no. Quote his words. I mean, yeah, honestly, a lot of these are saying no.
Well, they're no fun.
Yeah, there's one that says, no, this is a horrible offer. No, in all likelihood, no matter what I wish for, I'm being ripped off. Probably not. No.
I guess that's true.
All this stuff mentioned above is temporary. I would need to see the details of the contract. I wish that hell was really nice, nice to the denizens. Like, to the point that someone would rather go there than heaven. Would I be correct in assuming that this proof involved the display of fiddle mastery? It's like, listen, I ain't losing this time. I lost to some guy in Georgia with a fiddle. I'm not losing again. So, but watch this though. Just fucking this one, unfortunately the details of the post got deleted, but I still have the title. And honestly, it's all I need. TMI. If someone told you they masturbated thinking about you, how would you feel?
Like, do I like this person? Do I know them?
Mind you, it doesn't necessarily say man or woman too. So this could be like, this could be your neighbor.
I feel like I need more context on who it is before I can make a decision about that. I think in a lot of situations, it's gonna make me uncomfortable. A
lot of the comments say the same thing. Like, there's one that says, depends on the person. My wife, kind of hot. My brother, pretty weird.
Yeah. So I think, like, I don't know. If there was someone I was, in some sort of a relationship with, then that'd be cool. But if I'm not in a relationship with that person, or I at least like know them and talk to them regularly, if not that, then it's weird. Control yourself, please.
So one of the comments is flattered and a bit horny, to be honest. And then there's a comment under that said, I'm so flattered and horny, said the user, as the toothless, lice-covered homeless man furiously winged himself outside his window.
Yeah, for real. It's like, it could be anyone.
Okay, mind you, this is also someone who is rather crazy enough, or knows you well enough to go up to you and admit this to you as well.
Yeah.
I mean, and knows you well enough and or is crazy enough. Could be both of them too as well. Like, what if I walked up to you and said, Kaden, I gotta tell you something. I've been furiously masturbating to you for years now.
I would not be surprised by you saying something like that.
Okay, all right. We're moving on. Next one, we got, are you sleeping in my class? What if you suddenly feel a touch on your shoulder following the words, are you sleeping in my class? You open your eyes and you're at your 7th grade math class. All the life leading up to this point was just a dream and you are a 7th grader. What are your thoughts?
I'm assuming I recall my memories.
Yeah, so right? You recall your memories as best you can, remembering it being a dream. So you don't necessarily recall everything.
Yeah, but like,
depending on your ability to memorize, like, dream. This is going to be like a dream that
sometimes I'll give it the benefit of the doubt. Sometimes my dreams are pretty vivid. Like, I've had pretty vivid dreams before where I can remember them, like, clearly. So I'll give it some benefit where I can recall a good chunk of things, but, like, things are jumbled.
Yeah.
I can't make out certain details. Repeat it to me. Let me just process it again.
What if you suddenly feel a touch on the shoulder? Can't read.
7th grader.
Hold on. What if
Seventh
you
grader.
yeah? What if you suddenly feel a touch on the shoulder, following with the words, "Are you sleeping in my class?" You open your eyes, and you are at your 7th grade math class. All the life leading up to this point was just a dream, and you're a 7th grader. What are your thoughts?
How did this happen?
Kaden, are you sleeping in my class?
No.
No. No.
Nah, it's funny because like I can remember you brought that up, and then I vividly remembered a time in 9th grade when I got woken up by this person in front of me, and I didn't recognize them at all, and I realized that I had slept through the entire period, and that I was in the next class.
Oh no! Wait, in the next class, as in like the teacher's next class? It was
just starting, but like a bunch of people had come in already, and they were the next class to come in.
Oh, okay.
And so I was still slumped in the back.
Okay.
So
I've done that too, but yeah.
I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up because I thought about that. But anyways, really awkward. Picked up my stuff.
It's so awkward every single time.
And I walked out of class. A couple girls laughed at me on the way out. It felt bad, man, but whatever. No, but it just reminded me of that. I think I would just do the best to, because 7th grade was like a pivotal era for me. Because I'm pretty sure I was still surrounded by a lot of bad friends, and I was making a lot of bad decisions. So if I had this dream where I just went through all my experiences past that point, and then I went back to 7th grade, I'd be like, man, I gotta change my ways, but I gotta do it right.
Yeah, and then change your ways.
Well, no, I did change my ways, but it ended up being not great for me throughout like the rest of high school and so on. So I think I would take my experiences from this dream that I had in my class. And I don't know, just try to do the best with what I could remember. And I think I wouldn't change what I did too much, but I would change my methods of doing things, you know? I'd have a more positive outlook, or I'd be a little more assertive towards certain things.
I think I agree with this one reply, quoting this one guy that I have no idea who he is, by the way. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, we're gonna find out. He quoted John Cusack, where he was asked, I don't know if I'm saying that right, where someone asked him if he had to start over, would he do anything differently? And he said, nothing. I'm fucking John Cusack. I did pretty good. I think,
type.
Yeah, I don't know. There would be some things that I would probably change differently if I had. I don't know. I also think like it's all a dream. Like, does it really matter what I do? I don't know. But that vivid of a dream of just like, what, you're in 7th grade. You're what? That's your.
Well, if you had a dream where you could tell it was the span of like, cause 7th grade, what is that like?
You're 12, 11.
13. Yeah. So somewhere around there. Like you've had up to 7 years of extra experience, or like 7, 8, maybe 9 years, almost a decade of more information. If you woke up and you had recalled even just some of it, I feel like you'd be able to make decisions. Well, again, I think you're right. You wouldn't like change what you did, but I think I would try to like I'd utilize the knowledge somehow, like in my future endeavors, whether it be just an outlook or something.
Yeah, it's also the thing of like within those years, you're also experiencing like major, like from 11 to 20 years old. I don't know about you, but I felt like I've experienced some pretty major things that would stick with me, even if it was a dream. And so waking up and I'm back to being 11 with that dream, I'm just like, well, I understand things so much. Like I'm looking at like I don't know, like
things are different now.
Like the news, like I made like ignore it, and then I turn on the news, which I would never do at 11. But I don't know, maybe I'm like, oh, you know, I gotta turn on the news, make sure this is real, right? And then I turn on the news and it's fucking like, what? When were we 11? 8 years ago? So that's, oh god, that's 2017. No, yeah, 2017.
2017 would be 8 years ago.
2017, 2018. I would turn on the news and be like, oh god, it's happening again. No, but I don't know. You would have some more like insight on you'll be definitely a lot more. You'll be wiser about certain topics a lot sooner with that kind of dream.
Yeah,
I feel that, or you go crazy and like, I am the prophet. I seen this all happen before. You don't understand. I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. That was a nice one. Now we're gonna get into the slightly weirder, more. If you thought the TMI one was weird, you're gonna see.
Okay.
This one is called Convince Me. You were tied up, unarmed, naked, and helpless. Convince me not to kill you for $1 billion. Inspired by the post, would you kill an innocent person for $1 billion? This is for the people who said yes. Now you are the victim. You are now tied up, unarmed, naked, and helpless. If I kill you, I will get $1 billion. In the form of stocks, bonds, digital currency, physical cash, and basically a lot of money in my bank accounts. I would also get away from any legal consequences after murdering you. With $1 billion, I can set up charities to help children and put pedophiles in prison. I will also use it to help those who deserve it. What will you do? How will you convince me not to commit murder?
That's like... That's not really...
Okay, I'm gonna get rid of the part about me doing good for the... I'm not gonna... $1 billion all on myself.
It's up to you to spend it. You're not necessarily putting it towards anything.
I will not put it towards any sort of charity. I will not be benefiting the world at all. I will make sure the world becomes an oligarchy. No, but what will you do to convince me not to murder you?
It's so hard because if you are in their position, what would you hear and be like, oh, I can't kill this person?
I mean,
but it's $1 billion at that point, and you're a free man.
$1 billion and you're a free man. You are basically, any moral obligation that you had is completely out the window for most people.
I think I would just...
I think you'd want me to have the $1 billion. I think you'd want me to kill you.
Honestly, it's not out of the question. Like, if it's just a random stranger, I would probably be like, listen, I think this is gonna weigh on you, and I'm not sure if there's a way I can convince you not to kill me, but I don't know. I guess I would just like tell them you're gonna take a human life, and if you're willing to do that for money, then it's good eats.
Yeah.
And then it's left in their hands. I think because it's such like, you can't talk about I don't know. You can't be like, oh, I have money I can give you. Oh, I can, like, you can't give them like anything in this situation, basically, that they can't already get with $1 billion. Yeah. So you kind of just have to
lead to their moral
leave
senses.
It in their hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can't even hold it against them if they do it, because it's just such a like altering like situation, you know? It's a really big ask to have them not do it, even though there's really no repercussions and it'll only benefit them. It's like, well, I think it's wrong of you to take a human life, but that's $1 billion right there. So if you need that for your family, or like, I don't know if that's just how it is. It would really suck if the person was just straight up greedy.
Yeah.
I'd want them to like sit there and hear me out for a second and be like, I need this money. I'm sorry, but I'm going to do it. Rather than just be like, it's $1 billion, buddy. Like, and you're done.
You're just like,
I wouldn't want it to go to someone.
He's like
bad
over there,
like that,
he's like over there making phone calls. You're just tied up, and you're like, please. It's like, you're gonna take a human life. He goes like, he turns around after he's making his phone call. He's like, brother, it's $1 billion. Come on.
Come on. Can you blame me?
Can you blame me? Can you blame someone?
No. I think honestly, even if he said it like that, like, number one, I interrupted his phone call, and number two, he's just keeping it a buck with me.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, buddy, come on, my hands are tied.
My hands are tied.
Like,
yours are
right,
literally, but
so.
mine.
But if it was just some asshole,
yeah,
I'd be way more pissed about it.
Yeah. Some of the comments for this, the best comment, and the top comment for this one is, I was given the same option. If you pull that trigger, you'll be the one tied up here trying to figure out how to get out of it. There is no money. You don't understand. Because if you remember at the beginning, it is inspired by the post of, would you kill someone for $1 billion? And so
there is no money.
There is no money.
Just upvotes. Just upvotes, please. It's not worth it.
On Reddit. It's not worth it. I need that platinum. I need that gold. That Reddit gold. Nah, yeah, another one. I shot the last guy. I didn't get $1 billion. I ended up here like this. Well, yeah, basically just making the shooter doubt themselves. Like, what makes you think they'll actually pay you when you pull the trigger? So
yeah, true.
One person said, I say, fuck it, do what you gotta do, bro, but if you could throw some money towards my family, please.
That's honestly fair. Like, listen, man, if you're gonna do this, do it, but drop like 200 mil on my family, please.
2 mil, come on. Yeah, at least.
Of that $1 billion? Come on.
On to the next one. This one is a bit of a game. It's a bit of a game. Roll a d20 for potentially unlimited money.
Okay.
You walking down the street when someone flags you down and says, it's your lucky day. They produce a d20 and invite you to roll it. If you get anything other than a 1, he'll give you $1. No tricks, no gotchas, no risk. The fun doesn't stop there though. You can try again to double your money. In fact, you get to roll the die as many times as you like, doubling your money each time you get anything other than a 1. If you do roll a 1, however, your winnings will go down to 0 and you will get nothing. How many times do you roll the die before you decide not to press your luck and take the cash? Now, I'm going to pull up a d20. an online d20. You tell me the number. Now, I could do one or two things for you. We could read the comments beforehand, or we can read the comments after, if you think it would influence your decision. It's up to you.
I think it would influence my decision, but I don't know if I
you do want it to influence your decision, yeah.
If he approached me, could I just whip out my phone and start researching? I don't have to roll it yet, right? I could take my time.
I mean, it's all a chance-based thing, though. So, I mean, yeah. You can.
So, I mean, I know it's chance-based, but I'm trying to think. I guess let's go over the comments first.
Okay. One of the comments says 24 times, which is wrong. It's 25 times. Someone corrected. But 25 times would be $16,777,216, which means you would never have to work again if you got it 25 times.
But that is really unrealistic.
Yes.
That you get it 25 times because it's a 20-side dice, right?
Well, it's not. Is it really unrealistic? It is a 20-side die, but it's also a 19 and 1 chance that you don't get one.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying... So
it's still pretty high chances.
It's low. Your chances get way lower when you surpass the limit, though.
It's true.
You know?
It's true. It is a very low chance that after... I mean, honestly, after like 15 rolls, I think I'd stop. I don't think I'd be like... 15. If I made it to 15, I'm like, I'm insane. I make it to like 4, get like $16 and call it a day. And I don't even think that's what that would be 2, and then 4. That would be 16. No, that'd be 8. That'd be $8. I'm stupid, and I'd be fine with $8.
I feel like I would have bad luck for something like this, though. 20 side dice. I think I'd roll it like maybe 12, maybe 13 times. I'm gonna...
Give me a certified one, yeah.
I'm gonna go with 13. 13, okay. Final answer.
I'm pulling up to pull up the calculator on my phone, and I have a D20 die here.
Okay.
So
you're gonna add up the amount, right?
1, yeah. Okay. So your first roll on a D20 dice. You said what? What'd you say? 13, 12?
I said 13.
13. You get 13 tries. Your first one, I have to stop it manually for whatever wait. Okay. Okay. I can just press go. Okay. Your first number was 9, which means you now have...
I get $1.
$1.
Okay.
So now it doubles.
Yeah.
Your second one was 7, so you now have $2.
Okay.
Third one, 13. You have $4.
$4. Okay.
Fourth one, 15. $8. Fifth one,
I'm stressing.
10. $16.
I'm already stressing. It's only $20.
Sixth one, 1.
Wow. See, I told you. And that's funny because when you first posed the question, the immediate number I thought of was 5. And then I realized it was a double-sided or a 20-sided die. And I was like, well, that's so like, that's nothing basically.
Yeah.
But damn, I knew my luck would be bad too.
6 rolls and you got a 1. That's crazy. I mean, it's not
6 is my lucky number.
Yeah. Damn. Okay.
Rats.
This one's kind of a doozy. It's kind of long.
Okay.
And it's got a lot of backstory that's probably not needed.
Okay.
Invisible Snail is on medical leave. Do you know the concept of the invisible snail where you live forever? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You accepted one of those invisible snail trying to kill you hypotheticals, but your assigned snail is out on long-term medical leave. The day your hypothetical is about to begin, a representative from the Invisible Animals Assassins, Tax Preparation Services, Organic Flower Delivery, and Tubalescence stops by with bad news. The snail who was attempted to kill you had a bit of bad luck, and now is on long-term medical leave. There are no snails available, so you'll either have to wait for your snail to return to work, or accept a substitution. The representative explains, there is a young, invisible emperor penguin that is trying to make the switch from tax preparation to invisible stalking and killing. He's honestly not that good. But he's my sister-in-law's kid. So what are you gonna do, right? He waddles at a set 3.2 miles per hour for 14 hours, then takes a 2-hour nap.
He's invisible?
He's invisible.
Is the snail invisible typically?
Yes.
Okay, I never knew that.
It's a lot of the memes make it not invisible, just so you can actually see it. But the original hypothetical is that it is an invisible immortal snail.
Okay.
He waddles at a set 3.2 miles per hour for 14 hours, then takes a 2-hour nap. Watches an episode of Gunsmoke without commercials. My dad actually does that. Eats a tin of sardines, then resumes waddling. He's afraid to fly, and if he has to get on an airplane, he has to get really drunk. He almost got banned from Delta for that one incident. He has a tracking device that always shows him exactly where you are, but he sometimes forgets what you look like if you change hats. If he walks past the television that's playing any Koellen brothers film, he forgets about his mission, plops down, and watches until the end. His fingers and height make it difficult for him to open doors, push the button for elevators, or slice bread evenly. He can, however, magically slide through the mail slot opening and is a strong swimmer. So here's the deal.
He is a penguin.
Here's the deal. So you let him take over the contract and you still get whatever you got from your last snail hypothetical and a free membership at the gym of your choice. You also get free flower delivery once a month, and they'll take... That's a typo. Sorry. my brain was like, I swear I'm not reading. Okay. And they'll take out your taxes, but you have to let him win and kill you. Kill you. I did quote. I'm stupid. Quotation marks around kill.
Okay.
Within 90 days. If he thinks you let him win, you actually die. But if you let him win without his knowledge, you just get a mild tickle to the belly and he thinks you died. It'll be a real confidence booster for him, but you need to make it convincing. Okay? Are you allowing this substitution? And if so, how do you let the inept penguin assassin think he outplayed you?
This is so
there are
so complex.
Okay, yes, there are a lot of factors that go into place. However, I feel like you're overthinking the factors and realize that the main mission is just to make sure that he thinks that he killed you properly.
But the reason I'm doing that is because I'm trying to come up with a way where I still somehow involve the parameters to benefit me, but really I'm expecting them to fail.
Okay.
So that he can... Yeah. So I'm thinking like, I live on a penthouse.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna struggle with the elevator. If I'm in a penthouse, I'll make sure that the lobbyist always has those movies on all the time. But later on, I will set up a power outage.
Okay.
So that the movies turn off mid-session. Then I need to deal with, he doesn't like flying and he's an exceptional swimmer. So a lot of places, I'm gonna have to find somewhere that's really like, it's an isolated island. Because if it's like still like a body of land, he could probably swim to it pretty easy. Well, I guess an island is actually easier for him because he gets to shore and he just swims there. So maybe I think I'd find whichever is the biggest, like where is the biggest landmass in the world, right? Where is there the most surface area of ground? And I'd try to get right in the middle of it, or as close to the center as I possibly can. That way, from any direction he comes, he's he's walking the maximum distance I can milk out of the earth. Maybe I try to have a couple houses. I'm immortal. I've made some money up until this point, surely. I'd also have to have like thermal sensors in my penthouse so I can actually know when he's coming. I'm trying to be like Batman. I know where he is going and what he's doing before he even knows where he's going or what he's doing. So I need thermal sensors. I need the movies in the lobby. I need the penthouse so he struggles with the elevator. And oh, I'll set up a bread cutting competition, and it'll really demoralize him. If I have him tracked, I'll make sure that by the time he gets there, there's the bread cutting competition, and he gets like, he's like an honorary, like, they call him in for the bread cutting competition. They're like, sir, we need your invisible penguin expertise. We need to see what you're capable of. They bring him into the bread cutting competition. He's super demoralized after that because he can't do it very well. He gets last place. Then he goes through the process of the movies, the landmass, or I guess the landmass, he'd already be past that point. But the movies in the lobby and the elevator. At that point, he's pretty much to me, right?
Yeah.
If this were the case, I'd have an escape hatch in my penthouse so I could get away, right? Naturally, he's afraid of flying and he's a penguin, so he just can't by himself. He's gonna have to go back down the elevator and then back through the bread cutting competition, which is gonna be even more demoralizing. And then I'm going to switch hats, right? But I've just done some research and I found that penguins are actually, I tried to look up if they're colorblind so I could see what kind of hats I'd want to wear. Well, because, you know, he gets confused easily if I switch hats.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, it says here that penguins aren't colorblind and they can actually see more than humans. They see more colors than humans do.
Okay.
Including ultraviolet light. And they don't do very well with reds. So, what I might do is maybe I would get different colored hats, but I'd make sure they were on the ultraviolet spectrum so that maybe he thinks it's coincidence of my wardrobe, but for him, they're like completely different. And he can identify me as being the guy who wears the ultraviolet hats.
Okay.
So then I'm switching out hats so he thinks that I'm trying to fool him.
Okay.
But in reality, he knows that's me. Now at this point, I'm on foot.
Okay. Okay.
This penguin is on me at 3.2 miles an hour, waddling. I'm gonna assume he's already been through the other stuff for that day, which consists of like his Gunsmoke episode and his tuna or sardines or whatever.
Okay, so this is like he's
already had his break,
Yeah,
and he finally
okay.
got to my penthouse after the time he spent getting there.
All right.
This is where it gets tricky because I'd have to like implant the thoughts into him that I want to convey. So like, I convince him that I'm afraid of flights so that like he knows that that's not really a viable option for me. But if it gets like in the past of being immortal, or I guess no, because he came to me today, right?
Yeah.
Then before all of this happens, I would...
You're preparing now.
Yeah. I would
your
make
entire
sure,
outlook on your life after this point is gonna change.
Realistically, if it was right now, and I'm thinking about this all right now, then I could set this up still. But before all of this, I would try really hard to plant little like seeds in his thought process, right? So how intelligent is this penguin? Does it say anywhere?
It doesn't say anything about his intelligence, although from his lack of attention span, I wouldn't say.
He's just a penguin.
It's
so
true.
I'm gonna assume it's too much thinking for him to be like, what would he do? You know? I'm not gonna get that meta.
Okay.
So within 90 days, I have to get him
90 days, so
to
you
do this.
have around 3 months, give or take.
Okay.
I guess it would be tick, but yeah, 3 months, around 3 months.
Ooh. Okay. But I've been immortal up to this point, right?
I don't think there's anything in here about immortal.
Well, isn't that the whole point? It's like the snail that's always on your ass. That's the one I always heard was
That you're both immortal.
you
Yeah.
and the snail are both immortal, but the snail is constantly coming to your location. Or
Yeah,
something like
let's
that.
just have that as like the assumption, because yeah, I agree. I also like the main thing I heard from this is like the immortal.
You get immortality so long as the snail doesn't touch you.
Yeah.
So, does it say where he like spawns?
No.
Okay.
So let's
I will assume.
Yeah, let's assume he's in the same.
I'm assuming he spawns in America.
Yeah, he's in the same country as you,
Yeah.
and he's able to reach you with. So it has to be done within 90 days. So let's also say, for you, let's say he's in the same city.
I would be on the run off rip. Probably just get in a car, drive somewhere. I might take the first like 10 minutes to research how long it would take to walk to certain places. Because then I would go to the I would drive to the airport and I would fly. I don't know, it's hard because I could make him take a plane. And he had an incident last time in the airport, so I could actually use that to get him like detained or something. I think I would fly somewhere he has to take a flight for then, because I'm assuming he's gonna fly to me in order to meet the 90-day quota, right? He's trying to meet it too.
I'm assuming that after the time limit, you both just get nothing.
Yeah, I'd have to go through like a really elaborate plan to figure out where the best location is. Probably overseas, so he has to fly. That'll get him detained for a little while. Probably not that long. It might even just be like he has some trouble in the airport or something. He doesn't even necessarily need to go to jail because he's a penguin. Yeah, I think it would go back to me taking the escape hatch after all that. He goes back through the ruse I've set for him. And then I wouldn't fly again because obviously you want him to get you. So you do that in the first little while to make him realize that you are trying to get away. You're convincing him of it. You have all that stuff that demoralizes him. It degrades him. He feels awful because he's a short little penguin that can't cut bread.
Okay.
And then I think it would come down. I'd have to concoct in the time that I bought in my penthouse. I would concoct some way to use the ultraviolet that penguins can see to like convince him that he's using his evolutionary benefits to outwit me. Because I think that's the most like, I don't know. I think that could be pretty convincing because it's something that isn't really listed in the rules, but it's something that penguins have to abide by.
It's true.
So I try to find a way where I can switch my hats to make him think I'm trying to disguise myself. But maybe my penthouse has ultraviolet paint for the walls inside, right? Okay. And then the clothes I painted in, I will wear on occasion.
Okay. I see this. Okay.
So then, the human eye, I don't know what color ultraviolet paint would be, or if that's even possible. But I would do something with the colors to make him identify, that's my guy, that's my perp.
I like to imagine the representative, because the representative is also, it's my sister-in-law's kid, so what you're gonna do, right? So he's also there, he's like, the penguin's like, that's him, that's my perp. And the representative's just like, yeah, go get him, buddy. you got that.
Yeah, I think it would come down to that, and then maybe I look and see if there are any glasses that have like thermal vision, you know, like night goggles, but not. That way I can, but they're like regular glasses. That way it's still discreet, but I can tell where this invisible penguin is. And then I would let him follow me loosely. I'm switching hats every couple hours or something, right?
Okay.
And obviously he's still on my tail because he's like, I've got this guy in his ultraviolet paint shirt.
Yeah.
I've got him dead to rights. Well, maybe he follows me onto like a subway or something, right?
Okay.
And that way it seems like I'm still trying to get away from him, but it's not, it's actually like permitting him to get on the train with me. That might be pretty risky, but also the benefit of that is that it's a dead end. If I'm on that train and it's still going, he's gonna get to me eventually.
It's a little risky, but it's risky in your favor.
It's risky, but it's risky enough that
does he think he's playing you?
It'll convince him.
If he gets you at that point, yeah. Like it's not.
Yeah. So it convinces him I'm still trying to get away, but I'm honestly cornering myself because if I don't have the thermal goggles, I shouldn't know he's on the train with me.
Yeah. You just keep.
I don't know if there's.
You keep putting yourself in positions where you're cornered.
Yeah, I'd find other ways where I'm kind of cornered like that, or I would just get caught on the train because I think that is a good environment to where you're technically getting away from something, but you know, he's still there with me and it would be believable for him. That penguin that can't cut bread.
That can't cut bread. The poor penguin.
It's a damn shame. But I used it against him. That's on me. Honestly, that like would pretty much sum it up. I think the only thing that would be an issue is like through all this, I'd have to stall out the 90 days. And I'm imagining this towards the deadline.
Okay.
I don't know how I'm getting the penthouse. I
mean, just take out those loans. You're gonna have your taxes are gonna be done for you. You're gonna get free flower delivery.
Worst case scenario, I don't get a penthouse. I just like get a hotel or something. Yeah, that's my answer. The bread conning competition, penthouse. I'm going inland after flying. I have my escape chute and my ultraviolet paint from the penthouse is on my shirt without me knowing, and then I'm switching hats as I leave to try and convince him that I'm getting away, or I'm trying to get away. Then I get on a subway or a train, and he comes and gets me in the train.
Just for fun, we're gonna read a couple of other answers that the comments, have given. Okay, so basically what they said they do. So I have a TV set up in my downstairs area and some weight sensors on the couch. I buy some whole herring every week and put a roofie in one every morning, slipping it in a bucket of ice and putting it in front of the TV. When someone opens any door, I zoomed in and I immediately lost my place. Give me a second. Okay. When someone opens any door or downstairs window, it immediately starts playing Raising Arizona, which I'm assuming is a Koellen movie. I live upstairs. I don't really go outside. I'm sure he'll make it here eventually. When the penguin on the couch sensor is inevitably tripped, I can watch the cam feed from my room and wait for him to eat the fish. He's gonna. It's just a matter of time. When that happens, I wait for about an hour for the roofie to do its thing and head downstairs to throw a clear plastic tarp over the couch. I should see a penguin-shaped lump. I secure it down so the lump can't move, but the lump is probably passed out, so whatever. I then check to see if my invisible penguin homie has a phone or something to take pictures. I assume he does, but he might not. If he doesn't, I do the same next step with one of the instant cameras I have lying around. I give myself a gruesome death scene in my house and have someone take photos of it from penguin level. Fake blood, the works. I put the phone or photo on back in the penguin's pockets or tape to him, whatever works. Put his ass in the wheelbarrow and cart him to a public park. He's invisible, so he won't be seen. Bro wakes up not remembering what happened, but he has a photo of my death. Last thing he remembers is getting in my house, watching Raising Arizona, and eating some fish. Probably figures he just had the best day ever and still got the job done. I wait a couple hours to see if a new penguin visit. If not, I assume we did a good job, then I hire movers and we go live somewhere else.
But he didn't get touched.
It's true. I don't know. Well, I mean, does he?
He convinced the penguin he killed him.
Yeah.
But he didn't get touched by the penguin to get tickled. So does it count?
I'd say that still counts. I don't know. He convinced the penguin, and that's the main thing.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Now, this other comment, was the OP. If you don't know what that means, the OP is the person, who made the post. The OP had responded. Step 1. Put a TV running Koellen Brothers movies on loop at the end of my driveway. Use a camera with motion tracking to alert me to any penguin visitors. Put up really tall fencing all the way around the rest of my property so that the only way you can get in, being a penguin. So that's the only way you can get in, being a penguin, is through the driveway, right?
Okay.
Step 2. When my penguin trap detects him watching the movie, I will conveniently fall asleep in front of the TV to a Gunsmoke marathon. I use DVDs and put it on the last episode on the disc. Then I turn off the TV at the end of the driveway. Penguin comes in, finds me napping, kills me. Everyone wins. Alternative move, pay a doctor to put a cast on one of my legs and hobble around on crutches until he gets me. Edit, for some reason.
I was thinking about that, purposefully injuring yourself or something to make it seem like, oh, he's helpless, I can get him. Yeah.
And then he said, edit, for some reason I glossed over the fact that the penguin is invisible, which would make planning for his approach hard. Plan B it is, I guess. So he and then the OP had responded. I know I'm the OP and not sure I'm supposed to be helping, but I like your answer enough. Add a unopened tin of sardines near the TV at the end of the drive. If the tin is opened and sardines start to disappear, you got your penguin right where you want him.
Wow.
Another person said, put sand or chalk on the driveway so you can see his footprints. The footprints appearing should trigger the sensor, right?
Yeah, that's why I said thermal, because that's
true. Yeah.
Surefire way.
But yours involved emasculating the poor penguin.
Well, nobody else brought up that that he can't cut bread except me. I used it.
Probably
okay?
for good
I used it
reason. They were like,
efficiently.
I don't need to butt this man anymore. Okay. Our last what would you do question.
Mm-hmm.
And in this hypothetical, this relates to you so heavily.
Okay.
You have a huge ass.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to say your condition is lucky, but you definitely hit some sort of genetic lottery because you're throwing around 50 pounds of cake. There have been countless people born without an ass, and you are believed to be the cause. You see, the law of conservation of massive asses theorizes that there is only so much ass to go around. You have been deemed an ass hoarder and are being forced by the government to get an ass reduction surgery. However, they will compensate you with one gift of your choice, but don't go too crazy or they may not honor it. What will you demand?
So they want to take my ass away from me?
They're saying, yes, basically, you're being forced to get an ass reduction surgery, but they're gonna compensate you.
So that other people can have ass.
So that other people can have ass.
They have to compensate me. See, give a man a fish, and he eats for a day. But you give a man, or you teach a man to fish, he eats for a lifetime. I'm trying to think of how can I somehow make this one-time trade last the rest of my life. And it can't be too demanding.
Because they may not honor it.
Yeah, they may not honor it. I think a payroll is automatic, like a payroll for the rest of your life is automatically off the table. Not a good trade. Because it's a one-time ass reduction for a lifetime of money.
Depending on, well, I mean, it's also, this is, I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel like that would be a little bit, I don't know. I feel like you can negotiate the pay.
Yeah, well, I think it just depends.
I don't think it would be, although I don't think
how much
the pay would be that, the pay they're willing to give would be that much to justify.
Yeah, because it's like, you're not doing anything, even like if you ask for like 30K a year or something, like that's pretty demanding for an ass reduction.
Yeah.
And that's not even like living wage. So it's like, is there an adequate payroll you could ask for that they're willing to give you? I think you'd have to ask for something more. You could ask for a payroll, but it'd have to be small, like,
yeah,
decently small if it's gonna last you your lifetime.
But it's also, I mean, also passive income.
Yeah, I agree. I'd want to get brought on as like an ass consultant or something.
The Department of Ass.
Let me become a part of this operation. I've got the ass, you've got the brains. We'll be unstoppable.
Be unstoppable.
And then they'd be like, absolute cinema. And they'd give it to me. Because then you are getting a wage, but at least you're giving something in return for the rest of the time that you spend there. And it's not necessarily until you die, it's just until you retire.
Yeah.
Or find a different job, or, you know. But at the very least, make me like the Batman of ass. Like,
Batman of ass.
like, you consult me when in dire times of ass needing, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know when they would need me for some ass, but
I'm
there if they need me for consulting.
If they were like, you gotta get an ass reduction, you're an ass hoarder, you're being forced by the government to do this, and I walked up to them and I was like, I want a position of government. Give me a job. I think they would go up to you and be like, what is your damage? What fucking audacity do you have demanding?
Well, no, because they are still taking my ass.
It's true.
But I'm telling them, after this, my only request from you let me work for you. Let me consult the ass. And then you have your payroll. They probably got benefits. It's government.
It's true.
So,
Honestly, not that.
And also, if you have a job there, they're going to be willing to bump the payroll up more because you're actually offering something else.
You're offering a service, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not that bad of a, of an ask, honestly.
And that would not be a bad job. An ass consultant, that'd be pretty easy. They're like, "Sir, we need you to come in, check out this ass." You're like, "Yep." That's like 2 people's worth of ass. That needs a reduction ASAP. And then
I go in for an ass, like an ass, like, I don't know, how do you say, consultation, like meeting or whatever.
Yeah.
You walk in, you go, damn, and I'm like, oh, I'm fucking screwed. Damn it.
It's over.
Oh.
Damn it.
Like,
but
the comments on this post is so funny too. And they're all like, none of them are taking the deal, by the way. They're all like, I will demand an even bigger ass. My ass fat is made into the soap. We replaces all the soap in the White House bathrooms. I will give you my ass when you pry it from my cold, dead hands. There's only so much. Oh, this one is in favor. There's only so much ass to go around. Not true, my dude. There's always more ass. Believe it. All right. Well, that's all I have for this episode. For
that was good.
For what would you do?
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would you do, viewer? Maybe
what would you do, viewer/listener? Answer these questions right now. Doesn't matter if someone. I don't care if you're watching this alone. If you're listening to this in a car ride, I don't care. If there's a passenger, I want you to answer the ass one right now and look at your passenger. Don't look at the road. Look at the passenger. Look at the passenger. Don't look at the road.
Right now.
Look at him and say and tell them how much your ass means to you. And if you ever got an ass reduction surgery, it would detriment the world. All right. Keep your asses, folks. Citizens of the world, keep your ass and stay safe.
Keep it safe, or at least consult.
At least consult. Consult, Kaden.
You gotta get a job or something.
It's true. Yeah, you gotta make it worth. You gotta make it worth. Your ass means something. Your ass is worth something.
That's right. That's right. Your ass means something. Don't you forget it. Okay.
Alrighty. That's gonna be it for this episode of You Had to Be There. And I mean, well, you really had to be there to listen to some of these wild things.
Yeah. You wouldn't know what the hell we were talking about.
If you skip ahead, I'm sorry. Alrighty. That will do it for us today. You can find me under Paul Hackemesser or Linksud. That's Paul Hackemesser at PAULHACKEMESSER. Or Linksud at LYNKSOD. And Kaden?
You can find me. Give me a second, I'm looking for it. Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. You can find me at 07 Nameless on Twitch. L Kaden on Instagram. That's EL_Kaden. KADEN. And just as Nameless on like YouTube and other stuff.
Alrighty. And we will see all y'all next time. And we better see you there, because otherwise you're not gonna understand a goddamn thing when you come back, because you just have to be there.
Be there.